Alright, everybody. Yes, I did mess up again, but do not worry, we've got all the main text. We'll go into this after. But let me tell you two definitions, because it's the YouTube debut division thing. I will explain more on my Instagram, actually, which is at KickerLab12. Make sure to go follow it, although it is a private account, so some respect, good luck. Right, anyway. So I'm going to tell you two definitions here, which is the divided number of division. So let me go to the easiest one, which is my example of 28 divided by 4. Now the 28 divided by 4 is a very simple equation, I know, but it's because it's just a example, of course. Yes, my 7 is a bit dodgy because my pen did stop work. Anyway, this is the number that you are dividing by. Now, I will say there will be some confusions. Do not worry. It's just getting the gist of the two definitions and the aspect of it. And then you got your number of division. This is the number that is being divided. So, let me explain. I've got my 28 and 4. Of course, you already know where the NOD is. It is right here. It's my 28. So this is the number that I'm being divided by, aka the first shot. The first number of my equation, the first main part. So a factor, actually. Right, anyway, this all looks confusing. I do now will take it slow. I'm going to show you some 1 steps, 2 steps, 3 steps equations, but can also go to 4 steps, which is, I think, around here, actually. Actually, no, that's a 3 step. I've just let myself realise. Right, so 1 step here. This is the basic. Now, yes, I'm 100% aware that I do not have to do 20 divided by 2 in a bus stop method. I am not. See, I'm not implying that you have to do this. You don't. Here's why. It's just basic. It's basic math. I'm just showing this as an easy example as a 1 step. So, I know. Now, this will look very confusing. I've labelled my number, my DM, which is my dividing number, of course. I have put it in short as well, number of division number. So I've got here my NOD, my DN, and my equation. Of course, we'll mention one thing. This is the only 1 step equation, which is all I have to do is take my 2 here and just take it into that and find out how many times it goes in. I'm just saying this. I'm going to use an example of a bus stop. So there was a bus. There's a bus coming in, and then the number is 10. That is your answer. You're trying to figure out what that bus number is, which is actually very simple. But most people probably will get this confused and think of it another way if you can. And that's how I would think of a bus stop. Now, yes, this is exclusive to YouTube and not Insta. I did not mention this. So anyway, so I have to figure out how many 2's go into 2. Pretty self-explanatory. It is 1. Here's why. 1 times 2 is 2, and there is one rule that everyone should have to go by. You cannot over the starting number that you are giving. Let me explain what I mean about this. So I'm talking about the main number here where my pen is. And of course I'm pointing at this 2, not this 2. This number will not change. Of course, this is the number that ain't going to change. So this does not matter. It's just here that is going to change. This is my bus stop. Here. So my 20 is my bus stop. So it's for the qualification of the number. Of course, the answer is 10. But this has got to go into 1 time. So this means that I know my 1 times 2 is 2. I'm going to refer to this main part. And then I'm going to say that this 2 goes into 2 1 time. So if the graphics is a bit low, just pull through it. It's still readable. Hopefully. So here we go. So here's the struggling bit here. It is my 2 step. Now, here is why it's a bit of a struggle. My first step is getting the answer straight away. Easy. But it is here. By the way, in case you don't realise, I did put 100 divided by 4. So I want to know how many how many 4s come into 1. Of course, that is nothing. Wrong equation, guys. Sorry about that. So there is 0 here because I know that no 4s. Well, I know no 4s come into 1. Actually. So this would mean that I have to take the 1, so it's not gone, into the number here. Of course, that is 10. Now this could be /3 step, but I'm going to mention this as a 2-step aspect, which is over here. I know that my 10 goes into 4 2 times, of course. I'm going to show it here. Of course, my 4 times table is 14 towards my first 3. That's all I need. That is relevant. So I can't go under my given number, but I have to be that is exact. Here is why. I'm not going to get 25 off my starting number. Nor am I going to get over my times 3. Of course, that is 12. That's why they're X'd. But I do know my difference between 8 and 10 is 2. So the 2 goes into there, but there is 2 left over. Please don't excuse me. I'm just going to flip it around so I can get more used to it. Because my strong hand. Actually, no, forget that. Anyway, classic stuff. But then I do have no remainders here, which is 25. Of course, my difference is my given numbers. There is 2 left over. That will now turn into 20 instead of 0. So I know that 20 divided by 4 is 5 on the solid. What I mean by on the solid is that it's a direct number and there is nothing else. So, here is my answer, but there is something that people do not understand. Well, some people may not understand, but it is a given obvious. So, the answer, sir, is 25. But some people may do this. 25 remainder 0. The main reason it is wrong, because it does not make any sense. If there's no remainders, by the way, that's what I mean by R, just mentioned it there. Then it goes into no times. Of course, here is a whole number. So what I mean by that is, to imagine this. 3. Give me a second, guys. There we go. 3, 6, 9, 11, etc., etc. All whole numbers. They've got no decimals to it. So it is considered a whole number. But then the R0 is basically saying there is something remaining. And from that is obviously clearly wrong. So let me go to a bit more of the complicated stages, which is here. So I do know something. So I know that 506 divided by 9 has got remainders to it, hence why there was an R2. I did this in the previous, so it is no panic. So I've got to figure out how many 9s go into 5. I'm sorry, of course I haven't mentioned my DN and my NOD. Do not put this in the exam, just get it in your mind. And okay. So I know that there is no 9s in 5. Let me do something there. Since there is no 5s going to 9, well, no 9s going to 5, I'm going to have to X that one. That is now gone. There's no point, but I have to convert it over to here. This is where the 5 has come from. And now I'm going to go over here to my small list. Now, I do not recommend doing a list, although teachers do. I personally don't recommend it. It's a bit time consuming, to be honest. But it's just me. I will explain what I would do in a second. So my number is of course 56. Now I've got my list. 9 it's too small, 18 too small, 27 it's way too small, 36 too small, 45 it's too small, 54 is technically too small, but it's not. Here's why. I cannot go over the given number, which the next number will be 63. Of course, I'm just going to mention that here is my 7x times 7. Then there is no algebra to this bit. By the way, guys, in case any of you are wondering, of course, put it in the comments if you thought it was algebra. If you do, please let me know. If you want to, or anything else that you might not get, etc. I do reply. We'll reply with a given explanation. All you got to do is be specific. Not to the actual time, just to the main point I was going over with. Of course, I'm going to mention 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, or definitions. So, I've got 4 here, but that is my end of my equation in a second. I've got to do the same. Of course, if I go back to my list, 9, 18, 27. 27 is way too high, and 9 is too small. So it's 2, but this is where the 3rd step comes in. If I can just find it, there. Wait, don't allow it. So 18 divided, 20 take away 18 is 2, 2 left, of course, not 9. I'm going to do this as my leftovers, or later on as my remainder. So, if you say that the answer is 62, you're wrong. This is clearly not a whole number. Clearly. But then, if you say that it's 62 remainder 2, you are correct. Here is why. You cannot put in the exam 62 whole number if it's got remainder. You will not get anything for this. Where you'll get working out marks, where you won't get the actual correct. You won't get an extra mark for your actual answer. It's a pain, I know, but it's something you have to deal with. Anyway. Also just to double check, there was 2 difference, remainder 2, 2 left over. This is the final bit we are doing today, actually. Well, for division wise, say 3 step. Of course, if you want me to do some additional bits, I will do it later on. So no worries. If you want me to, of course, you will have to put that in the comments that you want extra, or if you're heavily confused, I will highly do extras. So I'm gonna do a 3 step here now. This number looks fairly big. I will show my method at the very end, but I will not come to explain in the project. So I'm just putting my list down here. Of course, I know the next number will be 52, but here's a problem. 1, 2, knock off. This would have been 12. That would just been 1 on its own, but of course nothing going to 13. So I've got to go to 126. Now, this is where it can get a little bit complicated. You get 1 term wrong, you are instantly gone. So 78, then 91, and then 104, 117, of course 130. Here is a problem. It ends here because my number is 126. 130 is way higher. Yeah. Because I have given myself a little bit of a rattle, which I'm not 100% sure about. You don't have to go around. I will get this wrong. Sometimes if you know how to do it fair enough, tell. So 9, but then I've got a extra. Sure, let me just quick do the math. It is an extra 9, if I remember correctly. Yep, 9. Wait, 9. Yep, difference on 9, of course. 90. Oh, we got remainder. Oh, it wasn't what I was thinking. Fair enough. Wait, yeah, 9. Right, so I just had to double check just in case I got any of this one to any false information. Can happen. Has happened. So I know that my next number is 90. 91 is slightly too big. Here's 78, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 96. Remainder. One way you can know what the remainder is without being straight away. Of course, the remainder will be 20. Wait, no, it'll be 12. 12 remainder. But you can just do 90. Take 78 equals 12. That is your remainder. So my answer for this will be 90. Remainder 12. To 12, you do not need to do any worrying about this bit. But okay. I've gone into this, and it's the actual ending point of the working out stuff. My 1 step, and 2 step, and 3 steps. But now I'm going to go into how I would tackle something like this. Now, I will mention one thing. If it's a worded problem, which can happen, but then there is no big deal. But I'm going to do an example of bid mass. Here's why. So I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to put my BIDMAS. Of course, my bid mass, and my equation will be my brackets. 60 divided by 6 times 3 times, divided by this, divided by 54 divided 6. Okay. Bid mass, always do the brackets first. Okay, this is the B stands for brackets, indices, division, multiplication, etc. Now, do not murder me in the comments if I do get this wrong. It probably can happen. It 100% can happen. I can't fall in trap. Anyway, do your brackets. Brackets first. Here we go. Here's my 10. 10, of course, 6. So I do have to do a sweet nothing right now. I'm just gonna cage that. Shut up, 10. And then here I've got my 9. Okay, here it is, my sweet 9. Of course, I will have to get a calculator up. Please allow me whilst that is going on. Just get it up. Later. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's alright, solid. Right. So it probably will tell me the incorrect standpoint, but this would be 100% annoying, but who cares right now. So I'm also going to cage that, but then I've got to do my division first. Not my times and my division. So I've got to do 9 divided by 3, which of course is 3. And then this is where this bit will come in. 3 times that will be 30. So if I do know correctly, if you there are way better people than me at bid maths especially, but if I remember correctly, the answer is 30. See, that will be my answer. I'm pretty sure that is correct, but if it's not, then feel free to just delete me. Anyway, that has been a full page, people. Whilst I'm thinking about this on the file a little bit, I'm just gonna do it right here. I will tell you how I would trigger this out. Imagine this. In a certain thing, I've got 90 divided by, just say, 10. Non-bank problem. Right, I would have preferred if I made 110, which is where this mainly come into play. Do it to the times of the 10 first. Of course, the answer is 9. I already do know that. Then I've got to do my 10 time. Take my 90. Of course, that equals 10. 10 difference. But this is not my answer. Here's why. I will have to do, since I found the actual main difference, I'll have to do 90 divided by 10. 9. 9? Oh. 9. Okay. So that's how I would do it. Put to 10, take it away, get the difference, and then give it in there. But let's just say something. You've got an example of 110. You've got 110 as one of your remainders. And you're doing it to a certain amount. I'm going to use the example of 10. For example. Don't ask me why, I just feel like that right now, because that's the most basic bit. 110. 110 take 100 is a 10 difference. Of course. One set of 10. 10 times 10, or 10 squared actually, guys. I'm going to put 10 squared is 100. 100 plus 10. If I do my 100 plus 10, 110. That will be the way I would do it anyway, guys. This has been a 20-minute long. Please tune in on Saturday. Today, if you follow my Instagram at KickingLad12, I'll be live then and then. This has been KickingLad12 for an additional debut on YouTube. Give me some comments on what you thought about this. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Why? Maybe not. Positives, negatives, etc. Give me the feedback. I need it. Anyway, guys, that has been a live for 22 minutes. See you guys on the next edition, which will be whenever. If you need me to go for an extra later on, I will happily do it. If you want a situation at hand, then tell me. Let me go ahead. Anyway, that is the end. Goodbye.